Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Otsego City Council meeting. Tonight is Monday, June 8th. Audra, can you have the record show that our city attorney, city planner, city engineer, along with all council members are present, our assistant city administrator and our city administrator are also present. At this time, I'll ask you all to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first item of business this evening is our open forum. This is the portion of the meeting where you can come to the podium, state your name and address, and limit comments to 5 minutes or less. Would anyone like to speak at this time?
The man of the hour is here.
Oh, I couldn't see on my screen.
In council, I am here today, and I invited Representative Novotny to come. As you know, Paul's retiring, and I wanted to let all of you know how much we've appreciated him in Wright County. We have some great legislators that have just little snippets of Wright County, Representative Novotny, Representative Nadeau, and Senator Hoffman that have really brought Wright County together. Like, they come to everything that we asked of them. And we had, I don't know if you saw that, we had the community corrections debacle this year, where the state had said that we could take over our state employees for probation. And they let counties do it. And then all of a sudden they decided for Wright County that they wanted those employees to take on the PTO banks and their all their retirement accounts, everything, and include that in our what we needed to pay them instead of the state paying them. And because of that, we threw down a lawsuit, and with Representative Novotny's help, we changed the state statute. We worked with the Department of Corrections, and we are now free from having to do that. And I said it is very much like if somebody left Target and went to Cargill, there's no way Cargill would ever pay the balance of what's needed just to transfer that employee. And that's what they were asking of us. And behind the scenes, Paul did amazing work for us. We're so grateful for all the hard work. And every time I would go down to the Capitol, which was very many times, he was always so gracious to me and to the other commissioners and to our administrators. And we're going to really miss him down at the Capitol. He was the chair of public safety, and he did his career in law enforcement. So I know what it's like, because my husband is a retired deputy, and there are times where you just want to be done. And he is now to this point, so he can enjoy life like my husband. But I did bring him a gift. I brought him $100,000. And I'd like him to speak so you guys can do the same, because he's done great things for Otsego as well. But thanks so much, Paul. There you go.
For those of you that know me, know that I don't like attention or anything like that. So I just want to say thank you. It's been an honor to represent Otsego, and it's been a good city. It's been interesting for me to watch, as someone who grew up in the area, just to watch how Otsego has changed from dairy farms to what it is now, and it's thriving, and the leadership of the city council and the staff has done amazing things here, and it seemed to be a very smart way that they are growing. So, like I said, it's been an honor to be here, but it's been enough. 7 years was enough, and I've got a grandkid that'll be here in first week of July, and I've already got my daughter still travels a lot for work, so I'm already booked for trips starting in September. So I plan to do that. And if you guys need anything in the meantime, let me know. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Paul, I was going to say thank you for all you've done for our community, but also congratulations on this next step of becoming a grandpa.
I appreciate it.
So
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
All right. Is there anyone else here for open forum? All right, we will close open forum and move on to consider our agenda for approval. Does anyone have anything that they would like to add or delete at this time?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Ryan?
I move to approve the agenda as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Ryan, seconded by Corey. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next item is our consent agenda. A motion would be in order.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Ryan?
I move to approve the consent agenda as written. Second.
Motion by Ryan, seconded by Corey. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving on to item 4.1, absentee early voting periods. We'll turn this over to Audra.
Thank you, Mayor. The 26th Minnesota Legislative Session concluded in May, passing HF 4240, allowing cities to administer voting starting 46 days before the election or 18 days before the election. If the city of Otsego adopts the 18-day early voting period, the primary operational change will eliminate the first 28 days of in-person absentee voting at City Hall using a series of envelopes. The city will continue to offer the 18-day early voting process as in the past, where voters will be able to vote and place their ballots in the DS200 tabulator, just like Election Day. The voters will still have the option to vote absentee during the 46-day absentee voting period by requesting a ballot online or by mail through the Secretary of State's office or in person at Wright County. During the 26th general election, less than 3% of the 13,727 voters voted at City Hall in the first 28 days using the envelope process. Wright County has requested notification of the city's decision by June 12th, and city staff is recommending the city council adopt the 18-day early voting process. Any questions?
Also, questions? Your memo was good. Thank you for kind of laying it out. Just hard enough to get election judges, but then to ask them to come all of that extra time.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to select the option to conduct 18 days of in-person early voting at the city of Otsego for the 2026 primary and general elections.
Second.
Motion by Corey, seconded by Tina. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving on to public safety, fire marshal contract. I will turn this over to Chief McCoy.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Before you is a contract with Carrie Smith, become a part-time fire marshal for the city of Otsego. We need some help in the writing of a ordinance for adoption of the what's going to be the 2026 fire code coming up. Carrie can help us build a fire inspection program from the ground up, as well as building a fire education program from the ground up. Fire Prevention Week's right around the corner. I know it's only the first meeting in June, but October is going to sneak up on us fast. And if we're going to be educating our students in the schools, we need to get on that as soon as possible. We have a key box program we need to get up and running, so it's ready for our use on January 1st. He can assist with the inspection program, the permitting program, as we move forward in the city. Carrie comes with a lot of experience And he's familiar with our records management system that we're looking at. So he can assist us with that and entering data in there so we get good data out of there. As we move on and we hire our captains, they're going to start doing pre-plans as soon as possible, and Carrie can assist with that as well. So we're going to have plenty of work for him as soon as we can get him in the doors and working.
Questions, council?
Madam-
Corey?
Hey, Chief, I had one question I was thinking about, and I don't know if you can answer it or not, but like ballpark amount of hours, do you think you can make it work?
20 hours a week,
Okay,
so half-time.
you'll probably be a busy guy though, the way it sounds, huh? So is that going around to schools and educating, National Night Out, that type of stuff?
Yeah, we'll also have our 2 staff members come on here towards beginning of July, so we can assist with the education in the schools. But we'll really need his expertise on building that training program in the school, or the education program in the schools.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great.
Other questions?
Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Chief, my standard practice is to try to send questions ahead of time. I apologize, I didn't do that. My
Okay.
weekend kind of got away from me, so I'm not trying to embarrass you or anything, but there are a couple things I'd like to go over in the proposal here. Item number 4, compensation. I think there's an issue here where it says that we need to remit the payment to the contractor within 15, and then in quotation it says 35. I think we have to fix the language of that, crossing out 35 and making it
Yeah, that was brought to our attention.
the number 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
My other question is on the back under Exhibit A. We're talking about it's the 3rd bullet point down, 3rd sub bullet, where it talks about ordering equipment, tools, and other items necessary for all department apparatus. That to me kind of seemed out of place. It seemed like that's not what a fire marshal does.
No, but if there's any fire prevention equipment, so like smoke alarms or CO detectors, we'll look for his expertise on which ones we should equip our apparatus with. When we're out and about, and this is there's more to come on that through the state fire marshal's office as well. But if there's any fire prevention equipment that we need to be carrying on the apparatus, port calls, batteries, that kind of thing, we'll look to the fire marshal's expertise for that.
But will he have purchasing power? How does that work?
No, he'll make recommendations.
I guess the other question I have, I'm not sure if you can answer this for me, but we've talked a little bit about this Knox box idea that we kind of have to go around to a lot of the different businesses and change out their boxes and their keys. And
Yep.
There's going to be some expense associated with that. Do we know where those expenses are going, how we're going to pay for that?
This program's, the change outs happen in other areas, and the businesses have paid for it.
Okay. I guess the only other thing is not really a question. It's just more of a comment that with this contract, we don't have any sort of no maximum amount, no not to exceed. So I know that this is going to be offset by some of the building fees. But my question would be, what happens if the building permit revenue goes down? How are we going to offset this cost in the future? So something we just haven't discussed.
Yeah, Mayor, I did put together a brief slide that can contextualize some of the finance information mentioned here. Oh, wait. So as Chief McCoy mentioned, we're anticipating about 20 hours per week starting in July through the end of December. So a calculated cost of about $45,000. The 2026 budget for the building safety department is 611. So adding those two together is 657,000. I looked at year-to-date building permit revenues, total 857,000. which is approaching 56% of the total annual budget, which does leave room as of year to date for 200,000 in terms of excess permits over the top of what that building safety department is budgeted for. So in that budget, the most volatile or variable piece to that is our contracted service for building inspection, plan review, building official services. So looking down below, year to date, we've spent $98,000 on that, which is 32% of our budget. Looking at the average month at 24,000, if I annualize that amount, we'd have about $9,200 under budget. If I take the max month so far this year at $27,000, we would be over that contracted service budget by $28,000, still within that $200,000 of year-to-date permit over revenues. So obviously, this doesn't forecast the rest of this year in terms of revenue, but right now we're sitting at just under 56%. In terms of 2027, this would be something that staff would include in the draft budget for council review and consideration of adoption, so that we're not having to use this excess revenues and hopefully avoiding in a future year where permit revenue maybe isn't as high as it is this year.
So, Madam Mayor, just to clarify, then in the future, this would not be paid for with those building permit revenues that would come out of the tax levy.
Mayor, council, that would be a blend of different revenue sources that fund the general fund budget as a whole. We don't fund each specific department necessarily by specific revenue source, but the combination of property tax levy, building permit revenue are two most significant revenue sources. So between those two, there would be a coverage of that item if included in the budget.
And Mayor, I guess I would just point out that taking that revenue now and putting it towards this means we are offsetting what could go towards lowering the property tax levy for next year. If we had excess revenue in the building permit, that would be a surplus that we could apply to next year. So,
Mayor, council, to that point, our audit just finished up, as I mentioned in our weekly update last week. I've done the preliminary calculation of what that surplus would be heading into the 27 budget process, and ballpark about $700,000 is a number that I would present to you as one-time money that would either be shifted into capital or could be used for one-time budget differences, such as this example. So,
Any other questions or comments?
So, out of curiosity, typically fire marshals and other cities, when they have them on staff, how do you know how they typically handle that from paying for that in the staffing?
budgeting for a staff position. Mayor, council, that would be included typically within the fire department budget, unless the city would have some other department, fire prevention, education, inspections. Here specifically, we would propose that to be included in the fire department budget for 2027. But again, they do have a fair amount of crossover with our building safety in terms of plan review for both new construction and post-construction. So,
and if anyone has talked to Chief Scott, he's talked a lot about this for months, just about him relying on other people to be doing plan review for us that weren't really, nobody's getting paid to do that at this point that he was connecting with. Any other questions or comments? Otherwise, a motion would be in order.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve a contract fire marshal agreement between the city of Otsego and Carrie Smith, DBA FCA LLC, subject to final agreement review by the city attorney.
Second.
Motion by Tina, seconded by Corey. Is there any discussion?
Madam Mayor.
Yes, Will?
Madam Mayor, as you pointed out, the need for this position is not a surprise. In fact, 2 years ago, I stated publicly that this position was not included in the budget. At the time, I warned that excluding positions and other expected expenses from the budget hides the true cost of operating the fire department. Today, we are seeing the consequences of that approach. We are already 50% over budget due to other unplanned expenses. And now we're being asked to approve another cost that was foreseeable, but never honestly accounted for. The larger issue here is transparency. This fire marshal position is not the only cost that has been left outside of the budget. When expected positions and expenses are omitted, residents are prevented from seeing the true cost of the services they are going to have to pay for. At some point, we have to ask how much is too much. When do we stop approving unplanned expenditures without first having an honest discussion about the total cost and whether it remains sustainable? What is the point of a budget anymore? This situation is the direct result of a council that has repeatedly been unwilling to clearly state on the record the justifications for its decision and the long-term financial impacts that follow. Our residents expect transparency. We took an oath to ensure our budgets reflect reality, not to conceal costs until after commitments have already been made. For these reasons, I cannot support this motion.
Is there any other discussion? All those in,
I don't understand the 50% over budget. What are you talking about? You're talking about the fire station, the building cost of it, or managing the fire station moving forward? What budget are you talking about?
Madam Mayor. So we approved a budget back in December. 2 months later, we're already 50% over budget. We had this council, a majority, approved going 50% over budget.
comment on that?
Mayor, council, it in February, staff interim chief Scott presented a revised staffing plan compared to what was in the 2026 adopted budget. And yes, that amount is more than what we budgeted for in terms of that revised staffing plan. Council did consider that in February and did move forward. Therefore, staff did initiate those recruitments.
So we voted on that in February. Okay. Thank you.
Any other comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-1.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
All right, we are under city council reports and updates. Does anyone have anything?
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Ryan.
The Planning Commission did not meet. However, their next meeting is scheduled for the 15th. There are 2 items on the that will have a public hearing. The South Central Water Treatment Plant and Zachman Meadows Second Edition, which is a development that is east of DSG off of Cadler.
My update will be tomorrow will be the first public safety meeting, and that will be held at the fire station. Well, if you are free, please attend. Right?
Madam Mayor, I was just gonna give kudos to our utility department. I had a resident reach out about a water question, and our fearless leader was in Canada fishing, and somehow, got the word to his staff to meet up with this resident and make arrangements. So by the time I called, everything was set up. I was pretty impressed how the process worked. So thanks to those guys.
Cool. And they were dealing with the water issue last week, also on Tuesday. Yeah. We kept seeing trucks hauling dirt, and I'm like, where are they going at 7:30? So I reached out to Adam, found out what's going on. All right. Anyone else have anything? Next is staff reports and updates. Item 7.1, consider scheduling a special meeting at 5:30.
Yes, Mayor. Staff would request that special meeting at 5:30 on June 22nd. 2 items would be a presentation from the city's audit firm, going over the results of that audit and adopting of the financial statements. And then also, second item would be a touch point on Prairie Park Phase 1 planning with some community survey results and just keeping the council updated on that process. So
That closes today, correct?
yes, Mayor, that's correct.
Okay. Does that work for everyone?
I'll be out of town.
Yep.
What day was it?
Monday, the
June
22nd.
Oh, just meeting before
Yep.
the city council at 6.
5:30,
5:30.
please.
Perfect. All right, then I will make a motion to call for a special meeting starting at 5:30 on June 22nd.
Second.
I was gonna say, is there a second? Thank you, Ryan. Motion by Jessica, seconded by Ryan. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. We are still under staff reports and updates. Sabrina.
Thank you, Mayor. No updates at this time.
Okay. Adam.
Mayor, council, nothing to add this evening.
Okay. Audra.
Thank you, Mayor. I was just going to remind everyone the photo contest did start, so please submit your photos.
Dave.
Nothing to report. Thanks, Mayor.
Okay. Dan.
Mayor, nothing to report this evening.
Ron.
No updates, Mayor.
What?
Wow.
All right. I can count on Jason Altman's. And you can go long because they all passed their time.
What's good we got going on here? Okay, I will start with the last 7 or 8 years. It hasn't been super popular to constantly support law enforcement with everything that's been going on. So I do echo council's statements about Paul Novotny and representing law enforcement very well. We really do appreciate that because he's definitely faced criticism for his support in that, and he's never wavered in that. So I appreciate that. To age him, he was a explorer advisor of mine back in
Oh.
2002 when he was with the Sherman County Sheriff's Office. So back when I was 14 years old, he had to be an advisor for me for
Well, he was only like 16.
Sherman County. So just wanted to age him real quick there. So as far as everything going on in the city here, this is kind of I always consider this kind of the crunch point for when the statistics start kind of going all over the board. It's been interesting. I looked at the numbers for the past couple of years for number of calls for service from the beginning to the year up until June, and it's within like 20 calls for service every single year. And then once June hits, it's just an absolute kind of a smorgasbord of different calls for service and where we're going to be at statistically. For the year, again, statistically so far, North Star Treatment Center and Target are number 1 and 2 locations for calls for service. They actually have the exact same amount right now. So again, I know we bring it up every time I stand up here, the e-bike situation and moto scooters and whatever other ways you want to describe them still continues to pop up. We are out there literally every single day trying to educate, enforce in whatever capacity that we can. It sounds like a joke, but literally we are running into our deputies trying to pull kids over that are out there acting egregiously on these things, and they are fleeing from us, which is a felony. So if you get caught fleeing from an officer on one of your e-bikes that doesn't have pedals or whatever the case is, it's technically a felony. We don't really, hammering 13 or 14 or 15-year-olds for that sort of thing, but you might face your bike being towed, then I guess maybe we can get the point across in that capacity. So we're working within the law on that, and we're doing what we can because I get complaints on it every single day. I know council members, you get complaints on it. I know city's been taking complaints on it. So working with the confines that we are given and see what we can do. Otherwise, like I said, it's just going to be really busy for us with different events. Friendly City Days, is it this weekend?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Not a directly Otsego thing, but it always trickles over. So other than that, I don't think I have anything real pertinent to you guys that I don't want to. We'll touch on all this tomorrow at public safety.
Perfect. Does anyone?
Questions from you guys?
Corey?
Madam Mayor, do we still have our safety camp as a city? Because I was wondering if something like this would be something that we could.
I don't think
up
they
there?
host the safety camp anymore. I know they used to do, right? Like it hasn't been on I haven't seen it for a
For
few
a few
years.
years. Okay,
Yeah.
just wondered.
Yeah, no, we're like involved in like bike rodeos and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So I know some of those things were like grant funded. And I think some of it. So like a perfect example is the
you got caught thing, the Dairy Queen. So if an officer, driving around and sees a, little kid with his bike, we could give him a little "you got caught" ticket sort of joke, and they get like a free Blizzard or cone or whatever at Dairy Queen. Like the funding for that went away, and so like we don't even have those anymore. So those things I got to put on the budget to ask for ice cream cone vouchers or something to get that up and running again, because the kids loved it. But so yeah, like we haven't been able to issue those things for a while.
I'm just gonna, Madam Mayor, I just want to make a comment to dispatch. I had to call because of parking issues in my neighborhood. She was so pleasant. She was great. She took care of it. I said it's not an emergency, so when a deputy can get here just to have conversation, so be it. So she was great.
Good.
And then Deputy Olson came by, talked to him, met him.
Perfect.
So awesome. So thank you.
To your point, you could only imagine all the the times that they're taking phone calls. So that it's difficult to maybe sometimes take a phone call from you, who's very pleasant and very pleasant, and pleasant and is respectful, and say, hey, when 5 minutes before they could have been dealing with absolute chaos, and they got switched that gear, right?
Right.
So I mean that's been happening today. So
No, she was great. She was phenomenal.
Great.
So,
good.
Yes. Oh, excellent.
I'll grab the name from them or look it up and make sure they get some acknowledgement.
Yeah, please, because I don't recall.
Sometimes they're forgotten about, if I'm being honest with you. Dispatch gets forgotten about all the time.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure that I.
The deputy that usually gets the praise or the down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she's great. Great.
Does anyone else have anything? All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
All right, if no one else has anything, then a motion to adjourn. would be in order. Second. Oh.
Oh, that's right. I can't see him. He's on his phone.
Well, we could change it up. Do you have anything that you would like to comment on? Nobody seconded. I didn't call for I called for it, but
I appreciate the what we call that, accommodation.
There you go.
No, I heard you were tooting Paul's horn tonight.
You got 100 grand bar.
I thought I'd show up to support him, but
He said he doesn't like attention.
Yeah.
but if you have any questions regarding anything that happened in the legislature, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, just here for Paul. So
I had already reached out to you.
Okay.
On a personal matter,
okay.
But yeah, no, thank you for all your service to our community also.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anyone else? All right. Then
Mayor, Chief McCoy.
Oh, yes. Oh, see, we're out of order. Sorry. Well, see, good thing I said it. Sorry, Chief McCoy. Get on up here. You should have went before Sergeant Altman. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
What order would you like to go? Would you like to go before him or after him?
He's carrying a gun. So we continue to schedule meetings with our partners around. Last week, Mike and I met with Alina. We discussed initial education for our new firefighters coming on, ongoing education that we're going to need in the future, medical direction, which we work under a doctor's license. So we met with him as well. And then equipment needs. We're going to look to try to match our equipment to what they're using. So we have out on the street, we're seamless. Today, they're working on punch list items. They're working on some lockers in our decon area. They fixed the heating ventilation on the roof finally. Hopefully it continues this week. Supposed to be hot. Mason, you heard a lot about him. He's a wonderful individual. He was there fixing and working on some punch list items today, so can't say enough good about him. Jim the mechanic, Greg and Larry, we went out to Pierce last week to finalize the engine and the tower, the ladder. That visit went very well. Adam, we had 40 some and 30 some small little items, and Adam asked if that was a lot, and it's not. Some of them are just very minor little issues that we have. So the visit went extremely well. Happy. Couple weeks here, we should see the truck show up in Apple Valley, and then we'll work with them to get them to the fire station. So really happy with everything that went on there last week. So and happy to be back in the office. So, so
Well, you hope the air stays on so you can like stay in the office, right?
Right. It's working. It was actually cool in there today, so
Okay.
That's
I'm not complaining.
Okay.
So,
All right.
any questions?
Chief, when will our fire marshal start then?
Hopefully in a couple weeks.
Okay.
So, yeah, get him working. So we'll make contact with him if tonight or tomorrow. See what he's up to. So
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah.
I heard good things about him, so.
yeah, no, he's very, very good. So
Good deal.
Anyone else have anything? No. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. All right. Everyone has spoke now. All right. Now we can call for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, motion by Corey, seconded by Tina. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The meeting is ended. Thank you all for attending. And again, thank you for your service to both.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. Everybody want to go down and take a quick picture?